All right, let's dive right into a huge question. You know, we're all taught that the universe is expanding, right? Racing outwards from the Big Bang. But what if it's doing something else too? Something just as fundamental? What if the entire cosmos, on a scale we can barely even imagine, is also spinning?
Now, to understand why anyone would even ask a question like that, we got to start with a massive problem that's brewing in physics right now. And it all kicks off with what seems like a pretty simple measurement. How fast is the universe actually expanding? Turns out, the answer to that has thrown the entire field of cosmology into a full-blown crisis.
Here's the deal. We get two different answers depending on where we look. So when we peer into the distant past, using the oldest light in the universe, that's the cosmic microwave background, we get one number. It's about 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. A megaparsec is just a huge unit of distance, about 3.3 million light-years. But here's the kicker. When we measure things much closer to home, like nearby stars and supernovae, we get a totally different number, a faster one, about 73.
And look, this isn't some small rounding error. As our telescopes have gotten ridiculously precise, these two numbers have refused to meet in the middle. The gap is real. This whole problem is called the Hubble tension, and it's a big deal because it suggests there might be a massive crack in the very foundation of our understanding of the universe. Something fundamental in our physics could be wrong.
So what on earth could fix this? Well, a recent study has proposed a wild, almost unbelievable idea. What if the whole universe is rotating?
I mean, listen to this quote from one of the physicists. They basically said that when they added a cosmic spin to their models, the math just clicked into place. Those two annoying, conflicting numbers for the expansion rate, they suddenly lined up perfectly. It's a surprisingly simple fix for a very, very complicated problem. And here's why it works so beautifully. A spinning universe would create a kind of cosmic distortion, and the effect of that distortion would change depending on how far away you're looking. This means both of our measurements, the local one and the distant one, could actually be correct from their own perspectives. It's not that one is wrong, it's that they're measuring a universe with a hidden spin. But what's really wild is that this idea of a spinning cosmos isn't some brand new thing. Nope, it actually has deep roots in physics, coming from one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, who just so happened to be a close friend of Albert Einstein.
Let's rewind to 1949. The legendary logician Kurt Gödel was just, playing around with the math of Einstein's theory of general relativity. He wasn't even looking at the sky. He was just exploring the equations themselves, and he stumbled upon something absolutely mind-bending. He figured out that according to Einstein's own rules, a rotating universe is a totally valid possibility. The laws of general relativity actually allow for a universe that's essentially one gigantic cosmic whirlpool. We now call this the Gödel universe.
But Gödel's version of a spinning universe came with a feature so weird it genuinely disturbed Einstein. His math showed that this kind of space-time would contain something called closed time-like curves. And that sounds pretty abstract, but what it means is, well,
Yeah, time travel. In a Gödel universe, space-time would curve back on itself so intensely that you could theoretically travel into your own past. Einstein was not a fan of this, but he couldn't find a single flaw in his friend's math.
Okay, so a spinning universe is possible, at least on paper. But is there any real, actual evidence for it out there? To find out, we have to look for a fingerprint hidden in the oldest light in the cosmos, and talk about a cosmic mystery with a very, very cool nickname. This image here, this is our baby picture of the universe. It's the afterglow from the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background. Now, a fundamental rule in cosmology, the cosmological principle, says that at this huge scale, the universe should be isotropic. That's just a fancy way of saying it shouldn't have a preferred direction. It should look pretty much the same everywhere you look.
And for the longest time, we all thought it was. But then, when scientists took a really close look at the tiny temperature spots on this map with the WMAP satellite, they found something that just shouldn't be there.
they noticed that the biggest patterns, the largest hot and cold spots in the universe, what scientists call the quadrupole and the octopole, they weren't random at all. Instead, they seemed to be mysteriously lined up with each other along one specific direction, one axis through the cosmos. This was so disturbing to our neat and tidy theories that scientists nicknamed it the axis of evil.
And the debate over this is fierce. Is this axis just a cosmic coincidence, a statistical fluke in messy data that our brains are just seeing a pattern in? Or Is it the first real, smoking gun evidence that our universe actually has a special direction, a cosmic axis of rotation?
So, let's put all the pieces together. We've got the Hubble tension crisis, we've got a 75-year-old theory from Gödel that says a spinning universe is possible, and we've got this seriously strange clue in the sky, the axis of evil.
The evidence is super compelling, but it's definitely not a slam dunk yet. On the one hand, a spinning universe solves the Hubble tension and might explain the axis of evil. Plus, we know it's allowed by general relativity. But on the other hand, that CMB data is notoriously difficult to work with, and a cosmic axis would totally upend the cosmological principle, a cornerstone of physics. We just need more proof.
But let's just imagine for a second that it's true. Let's say the universe is spinning. That leads to an absolutely colossal question. What could possibly get the entire universe spinning in the first place? And one idea is just, wow. It really pushes the limits of what you can imagine.
I know, it sounds like pure science fiction, but here's the thought. We know black holes spin, some of them at insane speeds. So some physicists have wondered, could our entire universe have been born inside a spinning black hole that exists in some other larger parent universe? It's a fun, mind-bending idea, though for now, it's pretty much pure speculation.
So for now, we don't know if the universe is spinning. But just asking the question is what science is all about. It forces us to re-examine everything we think we know. And it makes you wonder, if our universe does have a special direction, what does that really mean about our own place in the cosmos? It's a reminder that there are probably some incredible secrets still hiding out there, just waiting to be discovered.